Hello everyone and welcome back to the Light for Christ YouTube channel, and today we are going through John. It's one of the Gospels of the Bible, and there's Matthew, Mark, Luke and John. And John is the last Gospel in the order of the Bible. I'd say it's one of the best ones because it gives you the rich knowledge that you need, but there is qualities of each Gospel which is really important. But John, I'd say, let's think about Luke has lots of parables, it has more of the teaching. John has a lot of the story, and I think, John picks on parts that not other Gospels do. And I think, read every Gospel, but we're going through John right now, so let's go for John. And then if you haven't read John, I would advise you to read it, but if you haven't, just stay with us and we can read it together, because I'll describe what I think it means, and but always I could be wrong, so don't take my word full. Research it yourself, look in the Bible yourself, and read it for yourself. Okay, let's begin. Okay, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Okay, so that first verse gives us a clear declaration that Jesus, basically, if you don't know what the word means, John's trying to say Jesus is the Word. So the Word is the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and that was in the beginning. And the beginning being the beginning of creation, the beginning of the whole world. So the Word is Jesus. If Jesus is in the beginning and Jesus is God, Jesus is God, and that is pretty clear for the first thing that John says. So it must be crucially important, because let's think about it. A lot of people say Jesus is a real person, but was he God? And here we have proof in writing that John says Jesus was God. There's no ifs and buts about it. He's pretty clear here. So if you are a Christian and you're still confused if Jesus is actually God or just the Son of God, because there can be some confusion about that, he is God as well. He is fully God, because it says through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. So obviously he is the creator. So he is God himself. But Trinity is a confusing thing. So if you're getting confused, do not worry, because if you could understand it, you'd be God. You're a human. Your brain cannot understand the Trinity. It is completely out of our league. But all we got to do is trust in our faith. I guess that's what our faith is for, because we cannot comprehend it really. But it's here in words, and let's just believe it. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. So light, that symbolizes life. Darkness symbolizes death, sin, destruction. Light, I guess we can use the sun as imagery. The sun is very powerful. At night time, it's not even dark, so you don't know what true darkness is like. But let's say a dark room, that is dark, dark, dark. It's the darkest thing you've ever seen. You have a torch. No matter how powerful that torch is, it's still more powerful than the darkness, because you turn on a torch, it's still going to light up the room, even if it's a really small torch. It doesn't have to be a blinding sun, which shows that light is more powerful than darkness, which shows in essence that therefore Jesus and the power of Jesus is stronger than the power of death, sin, devil, and all that dark stuff, because it says the light shines in the darkness and the darkness does not overcome it. So I guess we can say that Jesus coming into the world is like the light of the world coming down, and the world is dark and decaying and is sinful, and Jesus coming down is like the light, and then that we all get light. But it says that also that the true light that gives life to everyone was coming to the world. He was made through him. The world did not recognize him. So even though this light came down, we didn't recognize it. Well, not me, but in that time, the Pharisees, who would have been the leaders of the Jews, which was the Jews were basically the people of God, and they didn't even recognize God in human form. So if they didn't recognize him, who would? But he says that he came to do that which was his own. So the will of God, which was to save people from their sins. And he says, but his own did not receive him. And like I said, his own people, the Jews, did not receive him. Well, some did, but a lot of them rejected him. And that is why he ended up on the cross, really. Because if they did accept him, why would he be on the cross? But anyway, he wanted to be on the cross. Well, he didn't want to be on the cross. Let me clear that. He had to go on the cross because of his love for us. But the people had to reject him for him to go on the cross. So it's a very sad way. You're literally the son of God, the people that worship him, and they don't even recognize you. So it must have been heartbreaking for God to see his people reject him like that. But yet to all who do receive him, so all of us that do receive Jesus, because that is the main goal, to those who believe in his name, if you believe in Jesus, well, Jesus might not even be his name, but it doesn't matter if he was called Jesus, Yeshua, Joshua, we know who we're talking about, and so does God. So if we believe in his name, there's power in that, and he gave the right to become children of God. So we're basically adopted into the family of God. So like a heavenly family, not like a family on earth, but like an even better one. Because I guess God made families to have a little representation of what it should be like, and how like a family dynamic. So God's like the Father, Jesus is the Son, and like all that family like metaphoria is a way for us to understand how we can relate to God as a father, not as a leader, yes, but not as a he's not we're friends with the leader. So it's not disconnect, it's got emotion, it's got heart behind it. It's not soulless telling us what to do, robots. We can have a relationship with God. And that is why the father aspect of God and the son and that family stuff is how we can love God and God can love us, and we can have this relationship. It's more than that, because ultimately love is the reason why Jesus came. So love is the main thing. And so we can become children born not of natural descent, nor of human decision or a husband's will, but born of God. So adoption into God's family, which is a crazy thing. Completely incomprehensible if you think about it, which you can't think about it because it's completely incomprehensible. But that is crazy that God, well, you can't really comprehend God, but God is literally like made everything, and he decides that he wants a relationship with you, and he literally adopts you. Like, think about orphans. They're alone, they have no family, and then someone comes and adopts them. That is probably the greatest moment of their life, if they're loving, and God is loving, and he's the loving creature, not even creature, like he's just love, really. It literally just says God is love, so take that for the word. But the word, Jesus, became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son, who came from the Father, full of grace and truth. What does full of grace and truth means? What does that mean? It means he was full of the grace that God has. God has grace. He has wrath, but he also has grace. He has perfect wrath and perfect grace. He has the perfect balance between a judge and a father. And he was full of grace and truth. And a lot of people in this world don't have the truth. And if Jesus is the truth, that is the person they should be going towards, because you will not find truth anywhere else. But Jesus was full of truth. Full of truth. And let's carry on. And it says, out of his fullness, we've already received grace in place of grace already given. So I was reading that, I was like, what is that talking about? What does it mean, grace replaced by grace already? So there was already grace. What was that grace? That grace was through the law of Moses. So there was grace from God. If you sinned, you sacrificed a lamb, and that would have been in place of you dying, the lamb died. But that was not proper grace, because you had to keep giving. Well, it was grace. It was proper grace, but it was not a lasting grace. That because God would ultimately have to punish us. So Jesus dying is the perfect sacrifice, and that's why this grace has been replaced. For the law was given through Moses. Grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. No one has ever seen God. No one. No, you can have. I guess you can see God in vision, but you've never seen him. Otherwise, you die. So no one that's seen God can tell us what he's like. But the one and only Son, Jesus, who is himself God, yet again proclaiming that he is God. So you can't deny that. And is in closest relationship with the Father, has made him known. So if we think about that, God is, no one can talk to God face to face unless, like when Moses wanted to talk to God, he said, turn your back and go inside the mountain and I'll pass by. You can't even see God because it would utterly kill you because of the I guess that holiness, the majesty. He's completely different being. But Jesus was close to God. He was the closest relationship that anyone could have had to God, and he came. So he can actually give us some insight, I guess, into what heaven's like, into what God was like. And that's why Jesus' words are so much different to people of humans, because humans are from the dirt and they don't know heaven. But Jesus had different thoughts, he had different motives, he had different ideas. And that's why I guess he was so revolutionary, because he had that close connection with God that we want to aspire to have, I guess, because I guess that's what heaven is. So I guess Jesus had heaven, came down to help us come up to heaven with him. I guess that is the idea. But I think we're going to stop there and do the next part later. But if I wasn't clear, we read from verse 1 all the way to verse 18. I might have skipped some parts, so read it for yourself, because I'm not bulletproof. I might make mistakes. So read that for yourself and comment down below any questions. I'll try to answer. Comment any any objections. What do you disagree with some parts that I've been saying? And if I made a mistake, clear it up in the comments. And share and subscribe so you can see the next part and we can do this together. So thank you for watching. Goodbye. God bless. Love you. Amen.